Hey everybody, got another binder video for you. Today we have Larry Johnson. Shout out to Jason Wento. He requested Larry Johnson in like 2 or 3 different videos in the comment section. So as I've said, I'll try to get to all the players that you guys request. And this one's going to be a bit different because I actually have Larry Johnson in 2 separate binders. I have a few pages of him here with some of his Hornet stuff, a few from UNLV. And then I have him in one of my Knicks binders for all of his Knicks cards. So we will visit both of those binders today. Let's start with some of this stuff from early in his career. And I always kind of liked Larry Johnson, even back then with the Hornets. Like around the time I started like following the NBA hardcore, I liked that Hornets team. They had a lot of good players. They had LJ, they had Alonzo Mourning, they had Muggsy Bogues, Del Curry, and so on. And I kind of knew Larry from his Converse commercials, like even more than for his play early on. Like I think before I even started watching him play, I knew him from those Converse Grandmama commercials, which by the way, I've heard him say over the years that he wasn't too fond of being remembered for those commercials. I'm sure people bring it up to him all the time. It must get annoying. For those that don't know, it was some sneaker commercials where he would dress up as a grandma playing basketball.
These are my new shoes from Converse. They're so light and so fast, my grandmama can whoop you in them. Grandmama! Let's go. What? You let do that. I like it all night. Move it, Granny, move it. Remember, you can't beat what you can't catch. Okay, Granny, one-on-one, me and you.
But anyway, let's move on because Larry was way more than that character. Again, that might be why he doesn't want to be remembered only for that. He was a really good low post player. He kind of had like the body type of like an NFL linebacker. I think that's what made him so tough to guard in the post. And keep in mind, back then, they allowed much more physicality in the post from both the defender and the offensive player. You would see a lot of really fun battles in the post back then. Really like that center stage insert. You were feeling pretty good about yourself back then if you pulled one of those. I have the Jordan, and I pulled the Barkley back then. Not sure if I still have it. But yeah, we're already going to be coming up to the final page of his Hornet stuff. Really like that Masters card. That's a subset card from Topps Gallery. And yeah, back here you see his former Hornets teammate, Alonzo Mourning, which I found out years later that they actually didn't get along so well when they were teammates. I didn't know that back then. But I'm going to pause right here and switch binders and show his Knicks cards. Alright, so prior to the 96-97 season, the Knicks traded for LJ, and that was considered a huge deal for the Knicks. I remember a lot of the magazines that I read at the time were predicting that this trade would put the Knicks over the top and they were going to win a championship. Because Larry Johnson was considered like a superstar player at that point. But he had kind of an odd career with the Knicks. Like I'd say he had like 2 different careers with the Knicks. Like at first he came in that year with a lot of expectations as that superstar. And he just kind of struggled to fill that role. Because that year he came in, but Ewing was still the franchise player. You still had Oakley here. You still had John Starks here. And that same year the Knicks also acquired Allen Houston. So I think LJ kind of struggled to find his role and find his identity on the team. But the reason I say he had 2 different careers with the Knicks is because over the next few years he kind of found a new role, kind of as a role player, which calling somebody a role player can sometimes be looked at kind of as a negative thing, but it doesn't have to be. Like if you're a good player and you can find that role to help your team without being the main focal point of the offense, that could be a nice role for you. And that's kind of what happened with him. Like towards the next few years with the Knicks, he became like one of the most beloved and well-respected role players on the team. Not by being a star. He was no longer scoring over 20 a game. He was no longer taking 25 shots a game. But occasionally, he'd become the focal point of the offense, like while some of the other players were resting. Some games he'd start, some games he'd come off the bench. He could still give you like 10 to 15 points here and there. And again, that was just a nice little role for him. Really like that UD3 insert right there. Winning edge has kind of like die cuts along some of the edges. I got several more cool ones here. A few from Finest, Flair Showcase EX. Really like that one from Bowman's Best. Let me get that one out of there. So this is a really cool mirror image refractor. You got LJ and Antoine Walker on the front. Then on the back you got Maurice Taylor and Vin Baker. This was a really cool set. They had the base like this, they had the refractors, and they also had atomic refractors. Wouldn't mind picking a few more of those up. And so moving along, I only have a few pages of them with the Knicks as well. That's a cool SPX. That's another really cool one there, commemorating his big 4-point play in the playoffs. Let me take that one out too. So this is from the famous or infamous 4-point play, however you want to look at it. I'm sure there are still some Pacers fans that say he didn't get fouled on that shot. But yeah, they actually explained the situation on the back of the card, which is cool. It was game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Knicks were down by 3. I think the play was designed for Allen Houston, but LJ ended up catching the ball and put up a 3 and got fouled, knocked down the 3. And one of the things I remember most about that play is when he knocked down the shot, got really excited, ran down to the other end of the court, and had a few teammates like bum rush him, but then he kind of stuck his hands out as if to say, calm down, I still got a free throw to knock down. That's just one of the weird little things I remember about that play.
11 and 9/10 seconds to go. Ward with a pass tipped but handled by Johnson. Johnson is 3-point territory but guarded tightly. Johnson cuts left, now fires a 3. It is good, and he's fouled. It counts, and he is fouled. Larry Johnson looking for the lead. The free throw is good. A 4-point play.
All right, and next I think we have the final page ready. Not even a full page, just a few more cards from the last few years of his career. That's a cool shot there on that upper deck. But yeah, finished his career with the Knicks, and to this day considered a part of the Knicks family. He's worked with the organization a few times and worked with the MSG network. And for me personally, he's one of my favorite Knicks from that era. Would love to get an auto of him, but still haven't picked one up. He started signing for some Panini products, and he has a few autos and some of the 90s stuff. So I've been looking a few up and comparing prices. It's kind of in the works, just haven't picked one up yet. But I do have a few other items of him here. Got this like 3-card strip thing. LJ and Terrell Brandon, who was a really good point guard. Greg Anthony, who was another former Knick and former running rebel with Larry. For some reason, the Terrell Brandon card has like writing in some other language, not sure why. But yeah, pretty cool item there. And then I have this dual relic card. Got a relic from his time with the Hornets and one with the Knicks. The Hornets swatch has 2 colors. It's numbered to 199. So nice one to end on right there. So hope you enjoyed it, Wento, as well as everybody else. And again, keep requesting players and I'll keep showing binders.